Hi, I'm Ed Kelly, editor of The Oklahoman. With me is Mark Green, national editorial writer for The Oklahoman, based in Washington, D.C. Mark's here in Oklahoma City for a few days at our studios here at News OK TV. Okay, Mark, it's been a couple of weeks now since the historic election, and Barack Obama has been busy filling some of those key roles with people who once worked in the Clinton administration. For example, Rahm Emanuel as chief of staff. Eric Holder probably will be his nominee for Attorney General. He also has John Podesta as his transition chief, and he's talking even about making Hillary Clinton possible Secretary of State. Could this possibly be then the start of the third Clinton term?
Well, you know, it's kind of humorous if you think about it. The tag that John McCain kept running from during the campaign, the just completed campaign, was that he was an extension of the Bush administration.
Right.
Maybe what he should have been doing all along was saying, hey, if you elect Obama, you're going to be electing the next or the third term of the Clinton administration.
Exactly.
But that is an all-Clinton crew. They're all experienced hands, deep experience of the Clinton administration. So it'll be interesting to see how many of those people, especially Hillary, whether that actually comes through.
Let's talk more about Hillary then. Would she make a good Secretary of State? And the second question everybody asks is, well, what do you do with her husband?
Well, I think the first question is that she probably would make a pretty good one. And from a conservative point of view, she's probably one of the best possibles out there among the names that are being mentioned. She's got experience. She's certainly traveled the world. She understands the issues. She has a good grasp on the threats that face America. And I think that at her core, she's really she's a realist.
Yeah.
She's a pragmatic realist and not an ideologue so much. And I think most importantly about her, she's not, in my opinion, she's not a member of the Blame America First crowd that is quite well populated in Washington, D.C. Now, as far as her husband, what are they going to do with him? There's all kinds of issues that are complicating a possible invitation for her to be Secretary of State. His foundation, his global initiative,
right,
and the donors to those groups,
right,
and where they come from, and whether there's potential conflicts of interest from countries or interests that might raise those issues with her being the Secretary of State. Those things have to be worked through before it's going to go.
So the Obama team has to do a lot of vetting then, not so much perhaps of her, but really her husband in his post-presidency.
Well, she particularly was vetted very well, as any candidate would during the campaign. All the debates and all the questions and the press conference stuff. But yeah, they're looking into his background, and that is the real key issue. I noticed there was a story in the paper this morning about how Clinton is saying that he will cooperate as much as possible, be as transparent as possible on these money issues, to not be the reason that she does not get that appointment.
Right. Okay. Do you see President Obama then appointing Republicans to some key spots in his administration?
Well, he's talked about doing that, and again, we'll have to see what he actually does. There's been a lot of talk that perhaps Bob Gates, the Defense Secretary, will stay on. He's gotten high marks, a nonpartisan, pragmatic administrator over there. There's been talk of maybe Chuck Hagel, senator from Nebraska, taking a role someplace. Usually historically what happens is when presidents talk about being bipartisan in their appointments, they will find one of the lesser posts like transportation or maybe even agriculture, and they'll slip a nominee from the other party into that role.
Right.
So we'll have to see what he does.
He met, President-elect Obama met just 2 days ago with John McCain in Chicago, apparently a cordial 45-minute visit. Do you see any kind of a role, official or unofficial, for a John McCain in an Obama presidency?
Well, it doesn't seem likely. McCain might have some things to say and maybe offer counsel on defense and foreign policy issues, but Obama's already pretty well stocked there with Joe Biden as vice president.
Right.
And if Hillary joins the administration, there's another voice there. I'm not sure that McCain, unless he's just looking for contrast on those things, where he would add that much. But it remains to be seen. McCain has been about pragmatic bipartisanship. He's reached out to the other aisle during his career in the Senate. So I'm sure if they found a role that he thought he could handle, he might listen to it.
Okay, Mark, thanks. Stay on News OK for more coverage of the incoming administration and more commentary from our own Mark Green.